Thank you all for coming out, for coming today. I'm Scott Goldman. I'm the Executive Director of the 6th Branch. We are a veteran-led neighborhood development organization, and we work with 4 neighborhoods here in East Baltimore, meeting community needs and turning vacant property into community green spaces. And this is the seventh Together We Serve, and it is such an honor. Yeah, thank you guys. That's as loud as it goes, Bonnie, in the back. This is the 7th annual Together We Serve. It is our great honor to be here, and we have a short program, and then we're going to get to work. And the weather has held out for us, and thank you all for coming out in this weather and in street closures and bearing it all to get some great work done today. I just want to say one brief thing. You know, I actually had to step back for a second last night because, you know, from our perspective, this is, you know, we're dealing with making sure all the T-shirts are here and the tools are in place and the name tags, you know, the fancy name tags are all set, and it's all this logistical work. And then it struck me last night to actually take a moment and remember, you know, what happened today, and I actually had to like stop for a second because it was, if you all remember, it was a bad day. It was a bad day 17 years ago, and you know, I remember getting calls and just thinking back to what it was like at that moment, and then to think about what we're doing today to turn that pain and that difficulty and everything that came after that, the years of struggle and the reasons I joined the Army years later, putting all that together to think about turning today into a day of service and action, that actually like stopped me last night, and I hope you all can think about that too, and we can have a great day working together to do real service work. The 6th Branch, we believe you can serve your country by serving your city, and we're going to do that here right today. So I'm excited, and I'm excited to introduce Bill Streever, who is the chair of the board of American Communities Trust, which is an organization that is redeveloping this great public space. Mr. Streever.
Thanks, Scott. We are delighted with our partnership with the 6th Branch. I mean, it's really been a terrific, fun, and worthwhile endeavor. You can see the progress already along the Gay Street corridor. This neighborhood sure needed some partners and some help, and the 6th Branch stood up and made it happen. So with that, we are working along with the Food Hub. We're delighted to have City Seeds. We'll hear more about that in a minute, doing incredible work. China, I think, is going to say a few words about our next building that we're hoping to close on finances, the one with the scaffolding around it. Get that in action. Then every year you come back, you'll see more progress at the Food Hub. And with that, it's my honor and privilege to introduce our great mayor, Catherine Pugh, who is a big believer in our neighborhoods, community service, and a huge supporter for East Baltimore. Mayor Pugh.
Thank you, Bill. Thank you so much. I am so excited to be here. But you know, this is a day of remembrance. It's also a day of giving thanks to all of you all who've come out to honor this day by providing your volunteer service. And I wanted to take a moment to acknowledge our budget chair in the House, Maggie McIntosh, our president of the City Council, President Jack Young, our Comptroller, Joan Pratt, our Senator-elect Delegate McCray, and our Councilman Robert Stokes. And Scott, I just wanted to say thank you to the 6th Branch, because every year you show us what volunteerism is all about. You come together collectively to serve the citizens of Baltimore. And I'm really honored to be here with you all today to remember September the 11th. And I'm sure there's some of you who are out here who remember September the 11th. And the many lives that were lost. And it really changed the landscape of our country in terms of how we look at protecting ourselves. And so I extend condolences in memory of all of the lives that were lost. I believe it was 41 individuals who lost their lives, and I understand that bells will be ringing all over this country, and salute to the lives of those who lost them. And also it's an opportunity for us to give thanks to our first responders who don't think twice about what they must do and should do in tragedies such as this. I also want to say thank you. It's approximately 400 volunteers who have spanned out to give back and to remind us that we're all in this together. And it's how we lift each other up and push each other forward. I also want to thank, someone said there are 12 companies. I guess they put the BGE constellation together because it's actually 13 companies who are participating in this. BGE, Constellation, T. Rowe Price, Care First, Blue Cross Blue Shield. Y'all can give a shout out. Leg Mason. All right. Y'all need me to go back so the other folks can? All right. So BG&E, Constellation. All right. Somebody's over there. T. Rowe Price. Care First, Blue Cross Blue Shield. All right, y'all got to top that. Leg Mason. Almost, not quite. PNC. Starbucks. All right. That's all those coffee drinkers. Y'all ain't right. Comcast. Amazon. All right. One big mouth. Transamerica. All right. Under Armour. McCormick and Company. And American Communities Trust. And all right. And a real special thanks to New Broadway East Community Association for all of your support. And again, let's give a big round of applause to the 6th branch, which was founded by post-9/11 generation veterans. Let's give them a big shout out, you all. This organization continues to be led by veterans and is a reminder of all of those who serve in our best interests, who do everything they can to protect us as citizens and to protect our borders and to protect our country. And again, I just want to say thank you all, because this area is going to be transformed. And it's because of the work that you all do and the combination of private-public partnerships that can transform our communities. I'm so excited about so much that's being done in our city. I think about the $30 million that we just got from HUD that will attract over $800 million in investment in East Baltimore. The $50 million investment fund that we've created to say to companies and corporations and the private sector, Baltimore City is all in. We can transform our city. And let me just say to you all that our #1 priority is reducing violence in our city, and we're down 20% almost in homicides across the city. We're down in almost every single category, but I can tell you we're not down enough. Too many illegal guns on the streets of our city. Too many lives being lost for no reason. So again, while we celebrate the lives of those who were given in 9/11, let's remember those who've died in our city because of violence that should be unnecessary in our communities. So again, you all, thank you, and let us give a moment of silence for the 9/11 victims. Again, thank you all for making this a day of service, and thank you for your support. And I'd like to just present to our team who put all of this together this mayor's salute, just as a reminder of us coming together to serve and to be together to serve and to remind us that we are in service to our own city. Oh. I'm left-handed. Yeah. Scott.
Thank you, Madam Mayor.
Thank you. Thank you. Can I have all
Thank
the
you.
elected join me? We do this all the time. Everybody on the podium.
Thank you, Madam Mayor. Thank you, everyone. Now, introducing Council President Jack Young.
Good morning. First of all, I'd like to thank Scott for putting this event together. I mean, it looks really nice to see all that orange out there, all these volunteers. But as I think back over 17 years ago, when we had the tragedy that happened with the Twin Towers and the Pentagon and the Pennsylvania terrorist attack, you know, I can remember vividly where I was. I was at work at Johns Hopkins, and I was going to find x-rays for a little girl who needed to have surgery. And when I looked at the TV and saw that, I was like, oh my God, what is going on? But as we reflect on those times, you know, I want to thank you all for coming out for a day of service in honor of those who have lost their lives. Over 3,000 plus people died on that day, September 11th. So I want to thank all of the companies who have all these employees out here just for a day of service in honor of what happened on September 11th. And I just want to thank all of you for coming out to do the work that you do. And I want to also acknowledge my colleagues, as well as the mayor has done, my councilmen who represent me, Councilman Robert Stokes, my senator-elect, Senator Corey McCray, our Comptroller Pratt, our great mayor, where did she go? Our great mayor, Mayor Catherine Pugh, and the chair of the Budget Committee from Baltimore City, Maggie McIntosh. So again, I want to thank all of you for the great work that you do, and actually to continue to remember those who lost their lives on September 11th. Thank you.
Thank you, Council President Young. Now excited to introduce Comptroller Joan Pratt, Baltimore City.
Good morning, everyone. I would like to thank the 6th Branch and China Terrell from the American Communities Trust for inviting me to join you on this National Day of Service. It is our duty today to pay tribute to the 9/11 victims, to honor those who stepped up and sacrificed afterward, and to remember those who have suffered. Today, people across the city, the state, and country will reveal power of volunteer service as a way to commemorate tragedy and triumph, while also bringing people together to better our communities and our neighborhoods. With over 400 volunteers and the Together We Serve coalition of major businesses and corporations contributing to the growth and development of Baltimore City, we embody a spirit of unity that we saw 17 years ago today. A unity that continues to inspire us to rebuild and to flourish, to cultivate a world where every community has a chance to succeed and every person has the opportunity to prosper. To love each other, to pray for each other in an effort to truly bring peace into our own lives and to the lives of others. Together we honor and together we serve. Thank you, and may God bless you all. Thank you very much.
Thank you. Thank you, Comptroller Pratt. And now I'll introduce Delegate Maggie McIntosh, one of our neighboring delegates from District 43.
Thank you very much, and I want to also thank Scott for this invitation, and China. And yeah, you're going to get a better view of Baltimore from now on. All right? I am the chair of the Appropriations Committee in the House, and so for that I just want to bring on this day of commemoration of 9/11 greetings from House Speaker Michael Aaron Bush, and also I would like to just take my time to thank those who have really brought together the energy and the funds from the state necessary to redevelop this site. I want to acknowledge the leadership in this district of Senator-elect Corey McCray, Delegate Talmadge Branch, Delegate Cheryl Glenn, and Senator McFadden, because it's because of them that this site will be transformed. And this site right now has received, or has in the pipeline, almost $4 million of state funds, almost $4 million of state funds, either in the form of grants or tax credits. But I do want to say this, $4 million does not match in any way, cannot match the orange shirts I see in front of me. So I want all of you to give yourself a hand for the work you're doing in community in Baltimore. I thank you.
Thank you so much, and excited to introduce Delegate soon-to-be Senator Corey McCray.
How's everybody doing? How's everybody doing? As Scott stated, Corey McCray. I just wanted to say thank you on behalf of the 45th Legislative District, myself, my colleagues, Senator Nathaniel McFadden, Delegate Cheryl Glenn, and Delegates Talmadge Branch. I just want to hit 3 points very quick. First, I just want to pay respect for those that lost their lives and sacrificed their lives 9/11. Second, I would just like to say thank you to all those that's out here today. I think that we could do so much good individually, but collectively, unified, and in solidarity, we can be great. And I see with the orange shirts that we're going to be great. And last, I'd just like to thank the 6th branch. This is the 7th year they've done this. But for the last 6 years, when I look at my calendar, I know, Bonnie, where I'm going to be at on 9/11, helping and participating with the 6th branch. So thank you for everybody that gave their time, gave their effort, and gave their energy for here today to lift our communities. Thank you.
9/11/2019. You know, check your calendar, everyone. All right, Councilman Robert Stokes from our district right here.
Thank you. First, I want to thank God for being here today. This is great, but I just want to acknowledge a young man. I grew up in the 1700 block of Preston Street, so I know how all this used to look, how it all changed. There's a gentleman out there. His name is Monk. Come here, Monk. You. Yes. Come up here. That gentleman still live in this neighborhood. He never left. Okay, well. But he out here volunteering because that's where he grew up at. So he is giving something back. And I think we need to acknowledge that he came back and gave back to him. We appreciate that. Also, I'd like to thank the 400 volunteers for really changing and making a difference in this neighborhood in Dolly Park, Johnson Square, Oliver, and Broadway East, because your volunteerism and your work has made a significant difference in here in this community. Also, I'd like to thank the veterans who put their life on the line, make sure that we can be here and do this. And also, I want to thank 6th Branch for their volunteers in 3 elementary schools in this district. And China, I want to thank you for your hard effort and work to make some of this happen also, and you should be acknowledged. And again, I want to thank you for all the efforts in changing this community and just making it a wonderful community and safe again. Thank you.
Thank you, Councilman. Now, nothing we can do is without a real partnership and an invitation from the neighbors who we do this work with. So I'm excited to introduce Eric Booker, who's one of the presidents of the new Broadway East Community Association, who we partner with right here in Broadway East.
Good morning, everyone. First I want to thank you, Scott, for your consistency in our community here in Broadway East. We are always forever grateful to have you here to help us. Now, isn't that beautiful? Look at that, y'all. Got a train coming past. There was a time when we couldn't see the train coming past, and a time when people come on the train, you know, they're just seeing vacant buildings, but we're moving from that. So thank you, China. Thank you, Scott, Council President Stokes, all the elected officials, our nonprofit and for-profit participants, because there was a time when I was a little bit worried because, you know that saying, you live on the other side of the tracks? Well, you know, I feel like I was living on the other side of the tracks. But now I feel like we're north of the tracks. That's the new marketing term. Broadway East, we had a meeting just last night. People want to develop in our footprint. We're excited about this food hub opportunity that's coming soon. And we will be diligent. So thank you for coming to Broadway East. I can't appreciate you more. Much love.
Thank you. another amazing partner that we work with is American Communities Trust, who's developing this amazing project, which years from now you're going to come back here and see the trees you planted and be able to enjoy the food here. And it's all thanks to this partnership. And I'm excited to introduce China Book Terrell from American Communities Trust, CEO.
Thank you all so very much for being here. It's just incredibly inspiring and uplifting to see you all here. You can look around and know that this project is incredibly, incredibly hard. I think it's probably one of the most challenging projects, in all honesty, to get done in Baltimore City. The Baltimore Food Hub was conceived as a project in 2011 because our chair and our visionary, even for the city, knew that people going by back and forth to New York, to Boston, to Philly, to DC, coming to Baltimore, could not look north and see these buildings falling down, because what does it say about our city? But now when people walk by, I can assure you that because of a financial transaction that we are closing on this month, that will bring an additional $4 million of equity right here to this 3.5 acres. Now when people look from the train, they are going to no longer see trees growing out of the rooftops. The building that has the completed roof on it back there, go ahead and turn around. That's going to be all brand new with new windows. It'll be completely done. Our offices will be in that building right there. The busted-in roofs over top of the historic stables, where you could actually go in and still see the names of the horses that used to be housed in those stables, that will have entirely brand new roofing. All of the broken windows that you see with where the boards are, that's going to have an architectural finish similar to what's over the dormers on the new roof, although all of the dormers, the architectural finish in the dormers will be replaced with actual windows. There will no longer be any broken concrete on the site. City Seeds will have new neighbors, not only us, but we're making pitches to some very exciting prospects that we hope will come onto the site. And I can tell you that it takes the entire city and an incredible amount of political capital to get a project like this done. Everything that you see here is 99% done with subsidy and grants, because it's a it's a poor community, and we're fixing the vacancy and that kind of a thing. We have to make sure we have as much subsidy and grants as possible in order to get it done. And I just really have to turn around and thank the folks behind me. And I'm just gonna go in order down the row. I have to thank Delegate McIntosh, because she gets it. You're a wonderful, wonderful person, and I just thank you. And then I also have to thank Delegate McCray, soon to be senator, and he is not here, but I have to thank Senator McFadden, because he made the call to the bank that said, hey, make sure that they get new market tax credit allocation in order to finish this project. I have to thank the city. I have to thank Comptroller Pratt, because I went into her office one day after having a huge setback with this project. She fixed it. I have to thank our mayor. I have to thank the New Broadway East Community Association. We go to all of their community meetings. We go to the Oliver ones. We go to the Perea ones. I have to thank my staff, and I'm sorry for being emotional, but this project is just so hard. And so having you all here is just, sorry. It's just very, very helpful, and it's overwhelming, and we have so much more to do. We have so much more to do. So I have to thank Kaylin and Stephen and Carolyn, and we have another staff member in New York, Donna. So I just really, really have to thank you, because this project is incredibly difficult. It absolutely requires 100% subsidy. There are very few people you call who get that right away. It takes a lot of coaxing and explaining. Like I said, it started in 2011, and here we are, 2018. I have to thank the Plank and DeCarlo Family Foundation, as well as the Able Foundation. I wanted to call out Plank DeCarlo because their logo's not on the sign outside, and they told me about it. So, but in any event, I just really want to thank you. The work that you're doing here matters, because it doesn't matter how glitzy or glittery or beautiful we make the harbor. Baltimore will be known for how many people are living in the interior. And so the fastest way, as our mayor knows, as our elected officials know, and I have to thank President Jack Young, and I'm sorry because he was on this side, but I go into President Jack Young's office and I say, here's what I need, and he makes the phone calls on the spot right in front of me. So I just really have to thank him, because this is his community, and he's been a huge, huge champion of this project. But so I just want to let you know that we will be asking for your continued support of this project. We have a community investment tax credit, so any individual or Maryland business that wants to reduce tax liability, my husband and I will be taking advantage of it. can actually make a donation to our nonprofit, and then half of whatever you donate you will get back from the state in a tax voucher to reduce dollar for dollar your tax liability. In addition, you will get a deduction for the entire amount that you've donated. Businesses can also take advantage of this. We need to do 100,000. So right here I'm asking each of the businesses that have a logo on this sign to please put in 10,000. And then BGE and Constellation, we're going to need your help lighting the Amtrak, because we want to make sure that there's pedestrian foot traffic going from this project to the new Eager Park. And the vision, as I'm sure my board chair explained when he spoke, because he always speaks of the larger vision, it doesn't stop here. It extends all the way up to Clifton Park. This project is having an enormous catalytic impact, and seeing folks like you here and going to the community meetings is what keeps me in it. But it is very, very, very hard. So thank you. Oh, council member, oh my gosh. I have to thank Councilmember Stokes because he just wasn't in my line of vision and I'm emotional, so I forgot. But Councilmember Stokes, and then also his Chief of Staff, Kathy. Councilmember Stokes, I have him on speed dial. So anytime anything happens, I call the council member and I say, council member, you know, I need this or I need that. I don't even have to call the council member. The council member calls me and says, I was in a meeting and I heard about this opportunity. I'm sending you a cell phone number right now. You call and you follow up. That's how we did it with Secretary McGill, right? Secretary Gill, State of, right. So he is just wonderful. And so I truly thank everyone. If I missed someone, I'm sorry, but I'm only supposed to speak 2 minutes.
Thank you, China. Thank you all. All right. Well, are you guys ready to get to work? All right. Let's all gather around right here, and we're gonna take a picture going this way so we can all see the crowd real well.
3, 1.